What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. Today, I'm here with an update for Herkit 3.0. Let's get it.
Favorite reader, that's who you are. Traveling near, traveling far. Through every chapter, you're the star. Favorite reader, that's who you are.
Okay, so I have my computer here. I have no good place to put it, so it's on my lap. But that's why I'll be looking down. So let me pull this up. These kids so loud in this house. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I can, and it keeps like distracting me. But anyways, okay, so a couple of things before I get into some of the prompts that I've like fulfilled and some of the boxes I've checked off. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video, but there are multiple versions of the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, aka Herkit 3.0. There's a few versions. There's a no-nonsense version, a kids version, a gamified version, and I'm just doing the no nonsense version. That's just the standard simple one. But there are different versions if you're interested and you want to join it, kind of see which one fits into what you like the most. Another thing I don't think I mentioned, while I am tracking it digitally, on the spreadsheet and on like my graphics, I also am tracking it in my physical journal. I am not the most creative person. I want to be. I want to be a creative, and I like maybe I'm more creative than zero. Like, I'm sure there's people less creative than me, but I'm not the most creative. So I haven't really shown that on here because it's just the way that I track it. I track a lot of stuff in my like my physical journal. But anyways, I did want to mention that I'm tracking it digitally and physically. Now, let's talk about some of the prompts I fulfilled. So, like I said, let me move this up. So for the random state prompts, I did check off Michigan, and that book that fulfilled it was Fish Tales by Nettie Jones. A lot of the book took place in Detroit, Michigan, even though some of it did take place in New York, but I still feel like this fit the prompt because it did take place in Detroit. So that got filled in. That book I have a full review on my channel, but it was a lot. It was a lot going on. It was a wild time, but the deeper things like made it worth it. It made it enjoyable for me. The conversations around mental health, around womanhood and girlhood, around growing and coming of age, especially in the 70s and 80s. It was a lot going on, but I feel like the more I think about the book and the longer the time goes, like the more I like it. So that's that one. What else? I'm trying to see what I have. So for the rainbow of words, I also checked off a prompt, the color red. It was Cobalt Red by Siddharth Kara. I have a full review on my channel of this too. This book took me through it. It was heartbreaking. It was eye-opening. It was a whole lot about the artisanal cobalt miners in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Check out my review on that if you haven't. That book is very, very eye-opening. I feel like it's a super important read, and it's one I keep recommending over and over. I was recommending this book when I was 4 pages in, and I haven't stopped since. But that did fill the red prompt on here. What else? Okay, so for the Shiratori titles, I picked the first book, and the first book was Jurassic Park. So the next book, because Jurassic Park ends with a K, the next book will start with the letter K. So that is the first one. That is by Michael Crichton. I feel like most people know what Jurassic Park is. I read this because I have a book club with my sons, and it was a pick for the month of July. So I was like, you know what? I feel like there's a lot of books to start with, Kay. Let's do that. So the first book in that chain is Jurassic Park. What else? Trying to see everything that I have on here. Oh, so for the choose your curriculum, I have read one of the books that I selected for that prompt. That was Blood in the Water, The Attica Prison Uprising of 1971 and Its Legacy by Heather Ann Thompson. I chose that book because, and I feel like all of the books, I think, That's where I'm at right now. I think that all the books in the choose your curriculum will be like historical books, or they so loud. Historical books, or some books that like that just take me back to something that I want to know more about. I'm not a historian. I didn't study history. My degree has nothing to do with history or the humanities in general, in fact. But I feel like in another lifetime, I probably could have been a historian. That's another story. So, yeah, that's what I chose. That obviously is about the Attica prison uprising. It's thorough, very well researched. I also have a review of that on my channel. And it gives such a comprehensive view of what happened, and not just what happened at Attica, but also prison reform as a whole, also legislation as a whole, like so much with that. So yeah, there's that. The biomes and landscapes, the one that fulfilled that prompt is Salt Crop by Yumi Kitase. I didn't really like this book, but it fulfilled the prompt. And it was outside of my comfort zone. That book I chose because it was a part of my public library's book club, which I'm not in that book club anymore, just because none of the picks speak to me. But that book is about two sisters who set out in a like near dystopian world where the world is dying because of crop blight, and they set out to go find their sister. And there's some stuff about her that they didn't know, some stuff about the world that they didn't know. And it should have been a conversation about corporations and corporate greed and humanity and gender roles and a whole bunch of other stuff, but it just wasn't to me. Still, it fulfilled the prompt. Okay, I feel like there's another one and I'm missing it. I feel like I'm missing one. Let me go back. Oh, you know what? The Cobalt Red, which I mentioned earlier, that fulfilled the rainbow challenge, the rainbow prompt of red, it also fulfilled the periodic table challenge because one book can count for up to 2 prompts. And this one I counted for the periodic table because Cobalt, and red for the rainbow challenge. So let's see. There's Salt Crop. What else? Oh, two more. Oh wait, 3 more. 2 more. 2 more. Wait, I did Cobalt Red, Blood in the Water. I put for 2 spots. So let me see. Where else is Blood in the Water? Because I say on here that I have it for 2 spots. Oh, you know what? I think I know exactly where it is. I have Blood in the Water. It also is counting for 2 spots for the cover styles because it uses a real life photograph on the front. So I did count that again for the cover styles prompt. So that'll be the first one in that one. For a book within a book challenge, let me make sure I got this right. Like the prompt is what I think it is. Yes. Okay. For the book within a book challenge, which essentially is Bookception, it says, famous literature is often in the literature we read. Find a book that mentions another book that exists in the real world. Okay, I did that. So for the first book that I read, it was Only God Can Judge Us, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur by Jeff Pearlman. And in that book, it mentions a lot of other books. But in that book, it mentions A Raisin in the Sun because Tupac actually played Travis, which was the little boy in A Raisin in the Sun. So I ended up reading Only God Can Judge Me and then A Raisin in the Sun a couple of weeks afterwards. So yeah, A Raisin in the Sun was a reread for me, but rereads count if it's been over 5 years. So that's why that counted. It is a play by Lorraine Hansberry, one of its kind, especially during the time that it came out, but it's such an impactful read. It talks about being Black in America. It talks about a family wanting and aspiring to have more for the next generation and even for themselves. It talks about selflessness, manhood, and each role in a family. You'll see. I have a review of this and you'll see what I mean if you're interested. The other book, Only God Can Judge Us, I also have a review of this on my channel, so you can go and see that if you're interested. That, thankfully, is not the first book that I read about Tupac. And out of everyone that I read, it was probably the most informative in some ways, but also my least favorite in a lot of ways. It rubbed me wrong in a lot of ways. And some things I can admit I'm more sensitive to some things than I am others. So sometimes, like with the way that a story is told, it can really like it could take me out of it. And so yeah, I go into more of what I think about that book in the actual review, but those two filled that spot. I think I just have one more. Okay, and to wrap it all up for the titular counting for the number 4, that's 4 words in the title, I chose A House Without Windows. That book takes place in Afghanistan, and it's about a woman who's a mother, a wife, a daughter. She is navigating imprisonment. I don't know another way to say it. She navigating imprisonment, and at the same time, she's coming to terms with a lot of other things. This book is about relationships, friendships, sisterhood, unlikely friendships. It's about forgiveness and retribution. It's about gender roles and justice. A lot of stuff happens in this book. And I also have a review of this on my channel. So that counted for the number 4. And I think that's it. Let me just do a quick little scan to make sure. So we did Salt Crop, Fish Tales, Blood in the Water, which took up 2 spaces, Cobalt Red, which took up 2 spaces, Only God Can Judge Me, A Raisin in the Sun, and A House Without Windows. Yes, that's it for today. Those are the books that I recently checked off on this challenge. So per Cordy's website, this is the goal of Herkit. The goal of Herkit is not to complete it. The goal is to broaden your reading habits. Okay, knowing this, I know this. Right now, I haven't intentionally broadened my reading habits as of yet. What I've been doing is reading what I want to read, what I plan on reading for whatever reason, and I'm seeing how it fits in. If it fits into a prompt, I put it there. I've read a few books that didn't fit into the prompt, so they're not there. So if it fits, I put it on the prompt. I know that there will be a switch over where I have to actively find books specifically for the prompts because what I'm reading doesn't match the prompts. At that time, I will then look through my shelves and see, okay, what can fit the prompt. And then at that time, and once I see I got everything that from my shelves that could fit a prompt, once I still see that there are things that I can't fulfill, prompts that I can't fully complete based on what I'm already reading and what's on my shelves, at that point, I'll go outside and see what I can get to fulfill these prompts. And then I will think about what's something that I wouldn't normally pick up type thing. But I know it's to broaden my reading habits. So right now, that's not where I'm at with it. But I think it will get to a point where it'll cross over. But what I'm reading, and because I just started, I'm pretty much fulfilling the prompts of what I'm already reading. What's already in my reading plans. But we'll see. And I will come back and tell y'all once I got to a point where I'm like, okay, now I need to see what's on the shelves. Now I need to see what's outside of the house, and we'll take it from there. But right now, I'm not making a concentrated effort to fulfill the prompts. I'm reading per usual, and then I'm seeing if it fits into the prompts. That's where I'm at right now, and I'll let y'all know when we get to a switch over, and I'm like actively trying to fulfill the prompts. So that's it for today. Yeah, like I said, if you want to see reviews of these books, like more in-depth reviews, they're on my channel. This is not where I would do like full-blown reviews. This is just a kind of quick overview and then let you know where I am at with Herkit. Let me know too if y'all plan on joining. A few people last time said they were joining, and I'm watching y'all progress too. Let me know if you are joining so I can see where you at too, because I like seeing people do this challenge. This is my first time joining, but I have watched it over the past couple years, and it's always really interesting, one, to see what people pick, and two, to just see how people experience the actual challenge and, you know, their approach to it. So yeah, that's it for today, y'all. I'm gonna see you on the next one.
Pages turning soft as silk, stories flowing like warm milk. A journey starts with every line, worlds unfolding in your mind. Bookmarks falling where dreams collide. Every cover's got a tale inside. Favorite reader, that's who you are. Traveling near, traveling far. Through every chapter